Well, to sort of deviate back into the core side of things, because now I feel as though I know a little bit more about Jack Carlin.
The man behind the Sergeant Major.
The man behind the Sergeant Major. Now I want to know about Jack Carlin, the Sergeant Major.
Oh, boy. What do you want to know?
So, first things first, one that came to mind for no particular reason. What's it like running BDS?
What's it like? Well, already having to wake up early by normal standards, Monday through Friday. Waking up early on Saturday is not fun.
Early on Saturday for me is like 10. So.
Early for Saturday for me used to be 8, and now it is 5:30 because I run BDS at 6.
Oh. What? Oh my God.
Just get up and get it over with, and then they can go back to bed. And also for people who have formation or weekend restriction,
they can just roll right into
exactly
me playing those wonderful calls on Saturday morning. See you out there.
Exactly. It's. I explain this to them every single time, especially with new people. I don't consider myself. I'm not there to really punish them. Like, I'm not the judge or the jury, or I'm not the police officer or the whatever authority caused them to be there. I'm the prison warden. So as long as they follow the rules and they do their time, like, that's
you're
all.
You're not a Shawshank prison warden.
No, nothing like that. I feel like I'm fairly reasonable.
Tom Hanks, Green Mile.
I feel like I'm fairly reasonable. If we're not doing anything super dirty, I'll keep them in gray bag just to keep it professional. But otherwise, OCPs, we clean the barracks. I try to be productive. If we're not being productive, then I give them an essay or something.
I think that's what I've told people this in the past, is that it when you say it, it definitely makes more sense. But the greatest punishment that the Corps can typically inflict on you is that of time.
Yep.
Because you're already pressed for it. So getting that taken away more, I mean, it's definitely good incentive to not make those same mistakes again.
Yeah.
I take it it's never fun, though.
No one enjoys getting up at 5:30 and doing a uniform inspection and then watching people. I mean, if you're doing BDS, at least you're like cleaning, right? But it's not my job to be doing BDS, so I just sit there and watch them.
Yep. And this is the important point I think I wanted to make when I asked this question. This is part of being leadership, I suppose, is that you also have to do the not so fun things. So always remember, if you're going out to BDS, so is the Sergeant Major or the Mike First Sergeant. Or
leaders follow the example. Or set the example, rather. So yeah.
Different question, completely different lines of thought.
Okay.
BDS on one end, how wonderful and joyous that topic is. 2 memories I want from you. Favorite new cadet week memory and favorite freshman year memory. I'm making a distinction between the two because I think those are very, very separate phases of life.
Yes. Oh boy. You have to give me a second. There's a lot of things I probably can't say on recording and camera, but.
Uh-oh.
All right. Favorite.
Yeah. Don't.
No, we'll be getting in trouble. Favorite freshman year memory. Mm-hmm. We had a bud. He's since dropped. But very, very country guy. Very like kind of not offensively, but hick. Like, like very, very not familiar with certain things.
This very urban Blacksburg area.
Yes. And plus, we're all new to the Corps, so we don't understand Corps terminology, things like that.
Sure.
This bud of mine meets Brooke Johnson, the absolute legend. She was a very, very scary cadre. I mean, she was always on.
She lived, scary senior.
She was one door down for me. I mean, I got nuked every single night during ECQ if I was screwing around. So, but we got online. This was, I believe, we were. What were we wearing? We were trying on the windbreakers, I think, or maybe it was Blue Blouse or something like that. And we get online, and she's going down the line, she's correcting stuff, and she walks up to my bud, Alden Muncie, and she goes, "Mr. Muncie, you have a massive boner right now." Now, we as cadets understand boner to mean your zipper sticking out.
Yes.
To poor Bud Muncie, he had no idea what was happening. He turned like beet red. He like looked down, was like, "Oh boy!"
And then
the entire TC was dying. I mean, we could not, even the cadre could not keep their bearing. Like we were absolutely done. And like Brooke was so iconic. Her voice just stood out above every single correction going on at the time. So
it probably carried over.
That was one of my favorite freshman year memories. That is safe to share. As for New Cadet Week this year, oh boy, there's a whole bunch. Probably relevant.
The cadre perspective is great.
It was really interesting to see the other side of the coin. You know, like being a freshman, you're like, oh my God, I have to wake up early tomorrow morning. Oh my God, why are they yelling at me? Oh Jesus, what's happening?
They don't know early.
They do not know early as cadre. I mean, if you think as a new cadet you're getting sent to bed at like 10 and waking up at like 5 or 6, like you're getting at least 6, 7, 8 hours of sleep. Cadre, we were going to bed at like midnight or 1, and we were waking up at 4:30 for meetings. So very interesting to see the other side of the coin, and I'm very appreciative to now my cadre who still enforce the standard. But throughout the entire week, all of the other cadre and Oscar had been not a whole lot, but generally sharing what they did in the Corps and other organizations they were part of.
Sure.
I did not. I may have mentioned like historians once or twice, but the 027 did not know I played the bagpipes. And so
I think I see where this might be.
The day before New Cadet Week, we told them, and we somehow managed to hoodwink them, I think. We told them, oh yeah, you guys have been doing such a great job. You know, you get to sleep in tomorrow before the New Cadet Parade. Like, you guys, we'll wake you up around like 7 or 8. You know, don't worry about it. Like, just sleep in, enjoy your night. And so promptly at 4:45 that Saturday morning, I put on my kilt. I walked out in the hallway, and with now Cadet First Sergeant, but then Cadet Staff Sergeant French, Alex French, one of my snare drummers, we started ripping Scotland the Brave. And I won't forget the look on some of their faces where not only are they, it's the usual, they wake up, they're like, oh, what's happening? And they're like, does he have bagpipes? Like, they were so confused. Some of them probably went deaf in one of their ears as I walked by, but
worth it. Easily worth it.
Very worth it.
We do something this is my favorite New Cadet Week memory from my freshman year. There were 2 distinct wake-ups. One was, and this is a tradition that we do every year, is the last morning. Actually, should I spoil it in case there's anyone watching?
I know what you're talking about, though.
You know what I'm talking about.
I'm very aware.
The other one that isn't a spoiler because he's not here anymore, Patrick Corrigan.
I remember him.
Now we know. You can probably see where this is going.
He used to race the flag up the flagpole as a bugler.
And he won most of the time.
Yep.
Yep. And then his carry on. Yeah. That was literally that fast. I cannot fathom. Off topic-ish. But the wake up, of course, was he just started playing Reveille in the hall. And like I'm lying in bed, and then all of a sudden Reveille just starts, like I can hear it, and like looking around, this weird roommate who I still don't really know. I don't even know if I remembered his name at that point.
Do you hear trumpets?
Like, what is going on? And then the banging started, and they raced us around, and he was still playing, and he kept playing, and he just played it on loop, and he was in full dressé as well. So he went the extra mile just for that bit. It was great.
I admire the dedication.
Yeah, the dedication was truly there. The other one was, and I guess there's 3 then, because the one that I can't spoil, the Reveille wake up, this really weird phenomenon happened like halfway through the week where I was awake because I heard the top floor and then the next floor down and then the next floor down,
yep.
Then the next floor down, and then there was like a pause. It could not have been more dramatic, but it was just like a scene from a movie. I'm lying in bed. I know my roommate's awake because we're both like talking about like, here it comes any minute now. We're just lying in bed. And then from the other end of the hall, you hear it on your hall finally, and you're like, yeah, okay, here we go. Time to go. And all sorts of bizarre stories from that hazy time that keeps getting pushed from my memory for some odd reason.
Was a fever dream.
It really was. If you can remember that far back, the last question I have for you for this podcast is a favorite New Cadet Week memory from your freshman year.
From my freshman year. I have the perfect story to tie in with the wake-ups. So I was in Bravo Company. I was in the very end of the 4th floor in Pierce Tunnel East. I mean, I think it was like room 473, 472, something like that. Very end of the wing. The long end of the wing, mind you.
Right.
And there were 4 rooms at the end, and then there's like the handicap or the all-accessible bathroom. And then there's the stairway that goes down on those ends of the wing. And across from the stairway was Brooke Johnson's room. And those 4 rooms were all freshman rooms. So there's like a little corner of just freshmen. which I think, and in hindsight, maybe it was a mistake for room preparation. So future company commanders do not put 4 freshman rooms together because they will bond forever. But
do put them together. They'll bond forever.
There were 4 rooms of 3, and so my room, Battle Bud Talbert's, and then Battle Bud, now Cadet Sergeant First Class Wilson, Mike Company. I think on like literally the first day of New Cadet Week, Bud Talbert spills his Camelback, and then on the second day of New Cadet Week, Bud Talbert spills his Camelback 3 times. Camelback was all over the place. Brooke Johnson like breaks down our door each time. It's like, why is it moist in here? Why is it wet? It's like SeaWorld in here. So we got nicknamed SeaWorld. And so for the next rest of the week, we got woken up every single morning with SeaWorld. So we were SeaWorld. Across the hall with my other buds, Cadet Grum, Cadet Rogers, Cadet Mers. 2 of them are in 4th Battalion.
I know Cadet Grum.
Yep. Fellow cadre member and Oscar. Hey, Jacob. I think Mers left like Chipotle or something in the trash can
During New Cadet?
It was the lunch on NDoc day. So he got lunch with his parents or something and then left Chipotle. It smelled awful in there, and they didn't have the chance to take out the trash. So Brooke Johnson nicknamed them the Swamp. There's a trend going on here, if you can see. And so then across from us, next to their room, across from us was Bud Torres, Bud Thomas, and then the former Sergeant Major, Cadet Sundberg. She was in there too. They got caught, I think they were like talking or gossiping or giggling after lights out one night during New Cadet Week. Brooke Johnson, I swear to God, a SWAT team was called in because we heard it. Like busted down that door and was like, why are you talking? Why are you giggling? This is not the happiest place on earth. All right, this is not Disney World. All right,
bingo.
This is the
there it
Cadets.
is.
So you see the trend here, right? And in that moment, I think either she realized or we realized we were nicknamed the state of Florida. That was the end of the hallway. There was SeaWorld, there was a swamp, and then there was Disney World. And then the final room, they never officially got a nickname. Who is it? Bud Tate and Bud Townsend, both of whom are in 4th Battalion now. Tate's an Oscar. Townsend is 4th Battalion S4. And then Bud Becker, the man, the myth, the legend, in Foxtrot Company now. But they never really got an official nickname, so we called them the Panhandle. And we were the state of Florida, and you know we still have a group chat. We're still really good friends.
Is it called the state of Florida?
No, we used to have that one, and we've.
Oh, that one was different. So it did
since
exist,
died
though.
since freshman year. But you know we're all still very close buds. A lot of us moved to 4th Battalion, which is pretty cool. So
see, I disagree that company commanders should be mindful of that because look at how successful all of these new cadets back then ended up.
I mean, honestly,
4th Battalion Sergeant Major now, like.
Sundberg was Sergeant Major. Rogers was Sergeant Major. I'm Sergeant Major.
Speaks for itself.
Grum is a color sergeant. Ryan Becker is still a cowboy. Townsend's S4. Yeah, so very good crew that was in there. So that's one of my favorite memories from freshman year.
And a good memory at that as well.
Yes.
And I've always wanted to say this.
Yeah.
On that bombshell, good night.
You're going to be a talk show host one day, aren't you?
I could, maybe. Would I be a good one?
I think so. Yeah, you carry it well.
Leave that part in the.
I've stuttered
leave
this
that
entire
part
time.
in.
You haven't stuttered at all, so.
I've got my notes to keep me occupied. But thank you again for coming on this first pilot episode of the brand new reforged Crucible Calls.
It's my pleasure.
I've been Ethan Homenik, and you've been
Jack Carlin.
And this has been the Crucible Calls.
And on that note, it's Saturday night now.